it always comes to finding the people who would pay for you and to knowing your self-worth.
Hey everyone, welcome to the another episode of TDLS. It's me again, Jay Christ, and I hope you're having a good week. So for this week episode, I sit down with Shayne Mabaquiao, a creative director from the Philippines. We discuss about her life journey, her transition into design coming from a business background, practical steps on right positioning, how to market yourself as a creative professional, reasons why you need to find the right niche to maximize your earning, and the importance of making clients happy. I'm super excited to share this episode. But before that, I just like to give a huge thank you for the support, and thank you so much for listening, to those who support the episode, especially to the two awesome human beings that contribute on this episode. If you want to know more about it, you can go to jchristebes.com/support. That's jchristebes.com/support. I added the contributors sections where you can see all the contributions or donations that everyone's gave for the show, and don't forget to subscribe. We are available on iTunes and SoundCloud. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode. Hey Shane, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jack Rice, thanks for having me here. It's a awesome opportunity to be able to talk with you about being a creative.
Thank you very much for accepting my invitations. It's my pleasure to have you on the show. To those who are listening, can you introduce yourself?
To everyone who's listening, hello, I'm Shayne Mabaquiao, and I'm from the Philippines. And I'm actually a certified public accountant by profession. And so I didn't study design at all. I had zero professional background in design and anything creative because I studied about business. And that's one thing that I'm confidently sure that I know of. I know business and I know the language and I know how to talk about business because I studied about that in college. But I always knew that the career wasn't for me. Ever since I was young, I have always been a creative. I have always been an artist. It's just that I wasn't given the opportunity to study design formally in college. So I hated the cubicle life. I've always wanted to get out of my 9 to 5 corporate job. And um, the first opportunity that I had to get out of it, I grabbed it right away. So the first opportunity that I had was in sales and marketing because I knew that with the accounting career, the pay was really good. I had a hard time finding an alternative opportunity or career. But when I found out that people earn big money in sales and marketing, I gladly jumped out of accounting and pushed through with my sales and marketing career. So I've done direct selling, I've done network marketing, I've done real estate, I've done insurances, pretty
Mhm.
much everything that you can think of that anyone can sell. I got into that, and people called me crazy because I had this accounting career and it was great, and people would want to hire me as an accountant, but it's just that my heart wasn't in there. And I've been in the sales and marketing industry for 6 years. And for the longest time, for those past 6 years, I was kind of blinded by the fact that I always thought that this is the only way that I could earn money and earn my freedom. It never dawned into me that a design career would be profitable. That's why it never came across my mind. And but all this hustle with the sales and marketing, you hear that all the time. The hustle in doing business, meeting people, going to events. It's just so tiring, especially for a mom like me who had a daughter, and in 2016 she was already 2 years old, and
Mhm.
I wanted to stay home for her. I wanted to take care of her because I was mostly out of the house. I was coming home early mornings and leaving in the morning again. And it seems like my family and I never actually get to meet each other in person anymore. We
Mhm.
don't eat together anymore. So that's not, I said, if this is the kind of lifestyle that my income is giving me, then this is not for me. I should find another opportunity. And so in 2016, I started searching for opportunities online, and that's where I found Upwork because
Mhm.
I've had this friend who was working online and I've heard about this. And so I searched, and that's how I started my online career. And I started as a virtual assistant. I
Mhm.
started with data encoding. That's the only thing that I thought I could do. I never knew what opportunities were out there. And so I started with data encoding. I was so happy. I was so happy to
Mhm.
earn $3 per hour because let's face it, here in the Philippines, it's kind of like an okay kind of rate. And so I
Yes.
was already happy just to have a job basically that's on my laptop that would allow me to take care of my daughter. I was happy with that. And I remember having the first client who said yes to giving me $5 per hour. And I was like, oh my God.
Mhm.
I felt like big promotion. And then when I went to the client who gave me $10 per hour, who said yes, it always amazes me. And then that was in 2016, and a year of transition into last year. Last year in November, I turned
Yeah.
30,
Mhm.
and
The
I was kind of
transition on design.
yeah, I was yeah, I transitioned into going to design, and the story was I've always done designs, but I never really knew that it could be a career. So I did this beautifully designed resume. I actually just did it on Canva. Sometimes the thing is the tool doesn't matter, right? If
Yep.
you have
Mhm.
the creative eye, you could use paint for Christ's sake, and
Yes.
you could create something beautiful with paint. And you could
Yep.
have Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, and if you still don't have the creative eye for that, nothing good will come out of your project. So I've always believed that the tool is just like a vehicle.
Mhm.
Well, it's actually not even. It's like I'm self-taught and I'm like
Yes.
just
Mhm.
intuitive. But when it comes to this balance, harmony, colors, typography, I have
Wow.
zero
Mhm.
formal education. I have zero knowledge.
Mhm.
It's really just, intuition. Like, I think
Yes.
this
Mhm.
feels right. I think this looks good. That's the only thing that I have. And
Mhm.
then these tools that I know how to use, and I just started with Canva, and I
Mhm.
even started with mobile apps. Like, I design stuff from my phone.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
and and one client started paying me for that, and I was like, wow, so you could
Uh,
actually earn from this thing.
it's like a
And i
natural
just i
talent
just
of you.
i just yeah,
Yes.
I think so too. I think so too. YouTube and
Yep.
Google.
Yes.
Google knows everything. So um I just started there.
This is actually one of the things that people don't or undervalue the power of internet, the
Yes.
power of Google. Yeah, uh,
Yes.
knowing your story, you've been in the design for 4 months, and you transition from a what you call it, a corporate world, and then so how
Yes.
is it? How's the transition after being a freelancer now?
That was one of the toughest journey that I had to go through
Mm-hmm.
because with freelancing, let's face it, the income wasn't that consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have the monthly income to expect or to look forward to. But the thing about me is I'm mostly positive. So what excites me more is the unlimited part of the excitement of not knowing how you could earn $1,000 next month. Like if I earn, let's say, $1,000 this month, I'm
Yes.
excited that I might be able to earn 2,000 next month.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about the corporate is you always have the same amount every month, and that's boring to me. So maybe sometimes it's also self-awareness. But what excites me with freelancing is the unlimited opportunity that you don't know how much you're gonna earn next month. That thought excites me. So that same thought would, scare people, but for me that's exciting. But the difficult part about that is, reality strikes, storms come. Y- the weather is always in our lives. They come and go, and so this has been one of my biggest challenges, because I've been hit. My biggest hit financially was when I was so down, and I was struggling with debt. And that was because I didn't have consistent income. I made bad investments, I made bad choices, I trusted the wrong people. It's just like a down I came to a point in my life when I was depressed. It was a downward spiral, you know.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
biggest challenges for me when I became a freelancer, it's like all the challenges poured out. It's like rain, like when it rains, it
Yeah,
pours.
it's
And
really
when I started
interesting.
freelancing, it's like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, all the problems came in. But
Yes.
I actually blamed myself more than the
Why?
opportunities that I've chosen. It's all a learning curve. And so right
Mm-hmm.
now I'm here, and
Yep.
I'm
Mm.
I'm crushing all the debt. I'm paying them,
Yes.
and I'm on my way to becoming debt free
Yep.
this 2018.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
God.
really
And yes,
yeah, that's really fascinating. I really love your positivity and how you conquer challenges with your story. That's a really tough or rough journey right there.
it is. It really is. I would not wish it on
Mm-hmm.
anyone else. What I've been through, I would not wish on anyone else, because I've thought about suicide, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been um this is way out of the creative story, but I this is what I've been through in order to get here. Sometimes, when you see some people achieving things or doing things that they love,
Mm-hmm.
you usually don't see the whole backstory. So I've been a single mom. I
Yep.
I've
Mm.
been through a whole lot of shit in my life, and this whole positivity thing,
Yep.
it's not like it's not just a concept to me. Like, I need this in order to get through and in order
Yeah.
to cope,
To
like
survive.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. If not, like,
I
I
understand.
wouldn't be here.
It's very what's fascinate me about your story is even though you're at your 30s, you still find a way to start your creative life. So I think it's your natural talent because I saw your paintings too or your watercolor arts. Am I correct? So do you do this since then or
Oh
just?
no,
Mm-hmm.
the watercolor art was actually a partnership with a friend.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so, although I do my own sketches, but it's not as good looking as those that you've seen. So, and although I can sketch too, but I'm really just more of a bad rough sketch kind of person, not into that detailed,
Yeah.
realistic kind of
Same
thing.
here.
So
Okay.
my creativity right now is just really more on the digital side, and just having that. I think it's that eye for beauty, and I don't even know what this is called.
Mm-hmm.
I just I just know that when I create something, some people love it and some people are willing to buy it, and that's why I sell it.
Yes,
I'm not
that's
even
right.
over
Mm-hmm.
analyzing it anymore. I just know that I have a market, and that's why I'm selling it.
Yeah. So you're onto branding and website design, right? So most of the time,
Yes.
what clients are you into?
Yes, that's a good question, because
Mm-hmm.
since I have a business background,
Yeah.
I I kind of know how. One thing that I've brought into this design career is maybe just my overconfidence. That's one. My business background has been helping me, and so I know how to position myself, because I've known branding
Yep.
already
Mm-hmm.
way since way back. I'm just doing designs now for brand identity,
Mm-hmm.
but I've already known the concept of branding way back in school. And of course, with all the entrepreneurship stuff that I've done. And so one thing that I think I'm doing right now, that's why I'm having clients, and that's why I am able to what do you call that, to to
Market, yeah.
charge more
Mm-hmm.
than others
Yes. Mm-hmm.
who have more experience than I do, is because I know where to position myself.
Positioning, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one yeah and
So,
one tip that what I could give the others who will be listening to this podcast is that we have to position ourselves in front of people who want our services. And so I have positioned myself in front of women
mm-hmm.
because that's the people whom I could basically relate with. And with women in their 40s, they are usually coaches or consultants.
Mm-hmm. So
They are
you find your niche on
yes,
consultants, yeah, agencies or
yes.
and individuals. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Most of them are moms.
Yeah.
So when we
Mm,
talk,
wow.
we totally get each other.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
so
this
when she
yeah.
talks about her kid and her business, and
Yes.
combining both the mom world and the business world, I totally get her. I totally get her struggles.
This
And
there's
so
connection already.
yes, yes. It's the relatability. She hasn't seen my portfolio yet, but she already likes me because I know what
Wow. Mhm.
sleepless nights mean. I know what's the experience of, breastfeeding and all that stuff. Like we already like each other. So even if she hasn't seen my portfolio, sometimes I book clients that way when we just talk over a simple chat or on a discovery call, and we talk about life. And when she likes me, she already books because,
Mhm.
it's the know, like, and trust factor. Once you like someone, it's more likely that you trust them,
Yeah.
and then you
Mhm.
book for their
Agree.
services. And
Yeah,
so
and
these are the
mhm.
people that I could relate to, and so these were the clients that I'm looking for. And and this wasn't an easy journey for me. Let me tell you, because in the
Okay.
first parts of transitioning into design, I was actually thinking of targeting millennials, because basically, even though I'm 30, I'm still a millennial. I'm actually one of the first generations of the
Yeah,
millennials.
90s
And
baby.
yeah,
Yes.
90s baby,
Mhm.
definitely. The millennials are the 90s baby. So that's me.
Mhm.
And so I thought that maybe I should target millennials because I'm a millennial, so I could relate to them. But
Yeah.
then what I realized was that millennials are a bad market for designers. And I will tell you why, and your listeners too. Because
Sure. Mhm. Mhm.
we grew up techie, right?
Yes.
We
Mhm.
were the one We grew up with computers, we grew up with YouTube, we grew up with social media.
Smartphones.
And so all these
Mhm.
information is available to us. And so these millennials, usually, number one, they know how to Google stuff already. They have the time, because usually, with millennials, they still don't have the family. Not like me, I already have my own. But usually with my friends and with other people that I know, even at 30, they still haven't started their own family yet. And so it's a different thing. They have time, but they don't have the money. And usually they know how to do what I do. So these are not my people. These are not my tribe, because I can't serve them well if they undervalue my service and if they don't appreciate me.
Yes.
So I started looking for, one person who first um, booked for my services. She was 40 plus
Wow. Mhm.
years old. So I said, this must be my people. So I also look into your current clients, like who is booking you for your services, and why did they book you in the first place. And so this could be my niche, because they are
Yes.
already moms, and so I could relate to them. And
Mhm.
then they don't have that time, because most of them still have their full-time jobs. They're doing their business on the side. So even though they know how to Google stuff, they really just don't have the time for it anymore. And so they would rather pay people who would do it for them. And since they have the full-time job, money is not an issue for them.
Mhm.
And they just want their business to take off. They just want it to, start earning money, so that, they could get out of their 9 to 5 jobs. And so that's where I come in. I help with the branding, I help with the website,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's my niche, and
Yeah.
that's my tip too for designers, because usually,
Mm-hmm.
especially on Facebook, I
Yep.
and get this, I have Instagram, but I don't use that for marketing. I only have Facebook. Like, I'm a mom and I have a business. Like, it's
Okay.
probably not an excuse, but basically right now with my 2 month old, I don't have time to understand and to get into all of the social media platforms. So I only rely on Facebook. But the thing is, when you market yourself, sometimes, think of yourself as a shark. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're inside a tank also filled with sharks, a little amount of meat, even just one piece of meat, and then everybody tries to get a piece of that. And so if you're a designer, it's okay to be inside designer groups, like for us, like we met with the future group, right?
Yeah.
And you could be
Mm-hmm.
in other web designers group or graphic designers group or brand identity designers group on Facebook. But don't rely on those groups for opportunities, because usually that's just a one piece of meat and everyone in there is a shark.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yep.
I did was that because I
Agree.
was clear on my target market, because I was clear on my niche, I went into those groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined these groups with females, with women who were in their 40s, who are starting their businesses, who want to leave their 9 to 5 jobs. And so sometimes the only designer there is me. Sometimes we're 3 or 5 designers. And I even love small groups because I could connect with a lot of people in there. When a group is too big, sometimes, it just gets too crowded too. So be strategic with the Facebook groups that you're in, because basically, if you're in a designers group and you rely there to, you see these people sometimes, not in the future group, but in the other groups that I'm in. I
Mm-hmm.
see people asking for, can you please give me a job? I'm like, you don't get a job inside a freelancers group, or you don't get a job inside a designers group,
Agree. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
everyone in there is already a designer, is already a freelancer. Everyone in there is looking for a job too. So every time there's a job opportunity that I'm hiring one design, I'm looking for one graphic designer, everyone starts to comment and you get 200 comments. Imagine that, 200 people trying to get that one job.
Yes.
But go to the
Agree.
other groups. Just a shout out to everyone. There are other groups out there. Just figure out who you want to serve and then find those people in those groups. And then
Mm-hmm.
that would be gold. Like, if you want to serve authors because you love designing books, you love designing PDFs, then go to author groups.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then you would be the only designer there.
mm,
And that's your gold mine.
yes. I agree with what you've said. Super agree with that. I think the most important part with that is you have to position yourself. Yeah, positioning is the I think one of the key to stand out,
Hmm.
or of course one of the factor that you need to do as a designer, as an entrepreneur. Uh, be creative about it,
Yes.
and know your niche. Yeah, as what you've said, there's tons of interesting group out there, but you need to explore more for to find your own tribe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Yeah, I
Because
really.
sometimes if you're a designer, you're an
Mm-hmm.
introvert, right?
Yeah, introvert.
And so
Mm-hmm.
what would I do in the authors group? I'm not an author. But that's the point. Everyone is an author, and you're the only designer. And every time they need a book cover, a PDF design,
Grab
sometimes
it.
authors go to events, so they will need business cards. They will need banners so that they could, showcase whenever they're speaking. They would need speaker. There is a lot of opportunities with just one target market, and that's just for
Mm-hmm.
authors. You could also go to speakers group
Yeah.
because they also
Mm-hmm.
need their website. So don't limit yourself with just the same group. Explore more groups on Facebook.
Yeah, that's correct. I agree with that. So, as accountant, Shane. So, you're a licensed accountant, right? So you is that
Yes,
correct?
I am.
Mm-hmm. So what's the
Yes, I am.
how do you balance that creative life as a being accountant and a designers? I bet you do you have any clients who also need accountants? Do you accept the job for that? Or you
Jobs?
yes.
No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
You
I've
focus on the
stopped.
creative side
I've
right now.
stopped doing
Mm-hmm.
accounting ever since I started sales and marketing. I just
Mm-hmm.
stopped because
Wow. So
because
your
I knew that I'm not
mm,
for that career.
your heart
So
is
I,
really
even
in
though I still
design.
have offers, like until now, I still have offers, but I
Mm.
say no.
Wow. So it's very
So now it's just full time design.
your heart is really into design. So that's really interesting.
Yeah,
And to point out that you have kids and uh, you do freelance work. It's been a rough journey, but it's really inspiring
yeah,
to hear that. So for those who are
yeah.
listening, yeah, to recap what Shane said, you need to position yourself and find your right tribe or find your niche, and there's tons of way to do that and be creative and strategize uh, on the things that you need to do. So Shane, any tools that you are using right now? Are you more on Photoshop or AI?
I'm using AI
Yes.
right now, and to
Mm-hmm.
tell you honestly, it's
Yes.
I've only been learning AI since February. So I'm a total beginner. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what?
Yes.
These logos, they only need to be simple. They need to be
Yeah, I saw
they need to look good, and they
your
just need to be
latest
in a
logo.
vector.
I saw your latest logo.
Yeah, you
it's great.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
what I do is because I'm not so good with AI. So if I spend most of my time with AI, I will spend too much time because I'm still a beginner. So what I
Mm-hmm.
do is because my clients, um, I give my clients several options, but I sketch that out and I really put that on ink.
Mm-hmm.
And so some designers, like, they sketch roughly, right, and then they do it very fast on AI.
Yep.
So I'm like the exact opposite. I take time on sketching,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I like a concept, I finalize that on sketch, and then I make the clients choose from my sketches.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's a great
Like, I
tips.
would take a picture of one sketch from the other, and from all the different sketches that I've made. And I
Mm-hmm.
know some people will say, "Oh, that's so unprofessional because you should have at least digitized them," but that would take so much of my time. I'm just trying to work smart. And
Yes.
as long as it looks okay, because I've actually just finally, I've used a good pen and marker
Mm-hmm.
to make it look good. And when she said, "Oh, I like this one," you know what I do? The picture that I took, I just upload that into into my computer,
Yeah, that's
and
really.
then
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
image trace, and then curve tool, and then what the hell, as long as it looks good, as
Yep.
long as it
Mm-hmm.
looks good, as long as
Yeah.
my clients are happy, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, there's a lot of way to get into one place, right? And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
my way may not be the conventional traditional designer way, but the
Yeah.
thing is, for me, it gets the job done. So we still get to point B, even if I you went the straight route, like from point A to point B, you went a straight line, and I chose to go the route of going a full circle and coming back. And so
Mm-hmm.
whatever, as long as I get to point B, my clients are all that I care about.
Yep, I agree with that. I think most of the designers right now is overthinking what they can
Yes.
do or what they process or what are the process they need to do. I think the best way to do that is to uh, uh, clients only like to save time. So if you save their time,
Yes.
you
Yes.
have a good business with them, right? Mm.
Exactly. You save their time and you give your deliverables on time, and you also save your time. So for me, I'm not an expert with Illustrator. I accept that. So I'm not a trying hard. I'm not even trying to pretend. So I'm good with my sketching. So I stick to my sketching. I stick to my grid paper and my lines and my tracing paper. I stick to that because that's where I'm good at and that's what I can do for now.
Mm-hmm.
While I am not yet an expert, but of course I'm planning to be an expert with AI. Like that's the tool that designers use. But like for now, I'm not overthinking on what to do. I'm not allowing myself to get stuck just because of the tool that I'm using. I'm
Yeah,
just
that.
focusing on delivering the results that I can to my clients. So
Mm,
now when you're asking about using, yeah, AI
yes.
for the brand design.
Result is very important, and saving time for our clients is really one of the reason why they hired us, right? So just don't
Yes.
overthink too much right now. It's really interesting what process you've been to and what tools are you using. I really love the creative mess. Just we can call it. Sometimes it's I also do shits like I don't if there's a deadline, so we need to work fast, right? Let's face it,
Yes,
they hired us to save
exactly.
time. You don't
Exactly.
need to waste their
Tell
time.
you,
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you one thing that I did before because I didn't know AI.
Yes.
The thing is, I'm not sure if I'm, cocky or just overconfident. But I just
Mm-hmm.
knew that I could offer service. I knew there was a market. So I just started offering services and I knew I could sketch, right?
Wow.
And I knew
Mm-hmm.
I had this eye for design that people
Yes.
are willing to buy. So I just started selling. I didn't know AI back in 2017. When I started this, I didn't know AI. I told you I just started learning last February. So what did I do? Because the clients need deliverables. I did my sketches because that's what I can do. I showed them to the clients which one would you choose, and whichever one they choose, I would hire someone else who would digitize that for me.
Yeah.
And like right now that I'm doing that, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. I could have done that myself. But the thing is, at that time last year, I only did what I could do. So I didn't know AI yet last year, but I already started offering the service.
Yeah,
So
that's
I did
that's
my
smart.
sketches, and then when someone chose the sketch,
Mm-hmm.
this is the kind of logo that I want. I will give that, or I will outsource that to another designer who would digitize that for me with all the instructions and with all the client brief that I have, so that they could translate that into something digital, into something beautiful for the client. So I outsourced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really good at working smart, I guess. J.
Yeah.
Christ, that
Yeah.
I think that's the only asset that I
Work
have.
smart. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I think most of the designers are really in love with their works, but
Yeah,
if we just be uh, open for all the opportunities, we find
exactly.
ways, right? Right. So that's
Yeah.
really a smart way to. I agree with that. I really love that. Yep.
So the concept is
Mm-hmm.
still mine. It's just that someone else digitized it for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Of course. So you've been you're a consultant and parang ano din it's like you're a creative entrepreneur, right? So that's really one of
Yes.
your strongest skill is the communications. I really love how you talk, how you handle uh pressure. I guess,
For
right?
sure.
So
I think one
I think
one thing that
mm-hmm.
my clients tell me, because of course we talk and before we start the project, I always see to it that I know something about their life and about
Mm-hmm.
their um, personal stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're all women, we're both moms, so we kind of talk about this stuff. And one thing that they said to me that frustrates them, even if there are cheaper designers out there,
Yes.
is number one, they can't talk to them. So
Yes.
these are the problem with guys, right? Because guys usually, especially if
I agree. Mm-hmm.
awkward, and most designers are guys, and so
Yeah.
if you just improve your communication skills and you stop being awkward and you start really listening and getting to know your client, it you could go a long way. You could go a long way. And not to
Mm-hmm.
discriminate others, but sometimes one client told me that sometimes you give them all the instructions and then they said yes, but then they understood it in a different way. So it's really a communication issue. And I realized that, wow, they're willing to pay higher just because someone communicates better with them.
Yep.
That
Mm-hmm.
means that if
I agree.
you improve
Mm-hmm.
your communication skills, if you're able to talk to these people, to your ideal market, most especially if you're able to talk to them and get to know them better, they would be willing to pay higher prices for you.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's most of the designers really. I mean, many of designers is introvert, and
Yes.
communications is really one of the biggest factor why they hire Filipinos, because we're a good communicator, right?
Yes, that's
They
true.
outsource call centers, agent. We know that. But as a designer, most of the time we make stuff, but we don't communicate well with our
Yes.
clients, and that's another level. If you improve that, and you will leverage your growth. Just, uh, just, uh, just like you've said, Shane. So thank you very much for sharing that. Um, I guess we need to watch you. Guys, watch out for this girl, this lady.
I really hope to make
Beware,
it far.
beware.
Like,
Yeah.
I said to my husband that I feel
Mm-hmm.
like right now I'm finally home. Like I
Mm-hmm.
finally found something that I would love to do for the rest of my life.
Yes. That's
And
really one of
I was
the.
raised
Mm-hmm.
in a family. Yes, I was raised in a family of teachers. My grandmother was a teacher. My grandfather was a teacher. They were both teachers. My mom, right now, she's a teacher. And so, design is not in my family. Creativity is not in my family. I don't know where I got that, but the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
they never believed that you could earn a good amount of money with design. They never believed that this could be a profession. I wanted to apply for
Wow.
interior
Mm-hmm.
design school, but they said no because designers. But I think that's a fact and that's a reality. Designers don't. Most of the designers are, if you're just an artist or you're a painter, maybe their concept is like you're a painter and then you don't earn that much unless you sell your painting. I'm not sure, but the thing is, design or creativity is not a thing with our family. It's not a career. It's not considered a profession.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I went into accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now, I told my husband, I felt like I'm finally home. I finally found something that I think I could do for the rest of my life.
So when someone asks you what do you do, what's your answer?
I tell them I'm a
Mm-hmm.
brand stylist and a brand strategist.
Yes. So most of the time, it's hard to really encapsulate our what we're doing, right? Um,
Exactly.
mostly on our for our families, they don't really know what's freelancing, right? What the hell is that?
Exactly. Exactly. And like my daughter just thinks I sleep all day, and that's because I work usually early mornings, and so she's asleep. And then when she's awake, I usually take my rest or I take care of the baby. And so she just thinks mom sleeps all day and money keeps coming in.
Wow. That's a nice
Mom
observation.
can.
To recap what Shane said, you need to position yourself, find your tribe or niche, and be creative on finding ways to have a client. And of course, the very important thing is to communicate well with your clients or your prospect, right? So, Shane, thank you for sharing your story, your journeys. It's really fascinating, and I really love your creative life. And any last words for our listeners?
I kind of laugh when some comments on YouTube, like with the future videos and younger than that. And I laugh because like, oh, hell no, girl, I'm 30 and I just started learning Illustrator last February. Like what the hell? And so and there is room for everyone. And you don't have to charge the lowest prices. You just have to find your tribe. You just have to find the people who would value your services enough to pay you the amount of money that you want to earn. And so I've seen it in the future fans group where people have been commenting on why can't I raise up to more than $100, and they've been doing that for more than 5 years, and they've been doing logos still for $100, and we're like, oh my gosh, am I greedy because I'm charging logos for $500 and I just started. So that it seems sometimes it seems wrong because all these people with all this experience have already done so much and they're still having a hard time charging higher prices. But then it always comes to finding the people who would pay for you and to knowing your self-worth, because that's one thing that I learned with entrepreneurship. And that's why when I shifted into design, although design was new to me, business wasn't. And I think that's a big factor that came into my, somehow getting clients and all that stuff. And I don't know if you found my post, but I just recently had a client which agreed to do the strategy with me for $1,500.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was shocked. What? She agreed $1,500, and but that's what happens when you find your niche. That's what happens when you position yourselves, and people will be willing to pay more because they know that you could solve their problems. And so I just hope for everyone that they find their own tribe too. So it may not be my niche, like women in their 40s and moms. Of course, not everyone can relate to that, but I hope you find the courage to find your tribe too, so that you would be able to charge more for your services and to actually feel more valuable, and not just what do you call this, every time there's a job, then you're like scraping for even just the smallest prices, sometimes doing it for free, almost free, because of the cheapest price. So together, and this is what I like with the mission that Chris Do has, is like together we could elevate the creative industry or the design industry when we value ourselves more. So that's my hope for everyone. And I'm still on my learning curve, especially with the tools. I have the creative eye, but I don't know the tools. So I'm still, learning. And I'm looking forward to learning from you, Jay Chris, because
Yep.
you're an expert, I think, with this already.
Maybe
You've done
we can
you've done
collaborate.
uh, you've done a lot of stuff. So I will be learning from you too when it comes to design.
Of
And
course.
by the way, just to promote a little, I think
Yes.
I will be starting to document my journey. I will be doing that in a Facebook page,
Okay.
and um, my Facebook page will be the Quirky Queen Confessions,
Yeah.
because my brand business is called the Royal Rebranding Solutions, because um,
Mm-hmm.
that's where that's what my target market could relate to. Like we
Mm-hmm.
turn pawns into queens,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm focusing on those who are willing to do the rebrand, because basically these are people who are willing to spend more because they've already started their business. And so, yeah, I just really hope and the best for everyone who's listening out there. And I'm hoping to meet more creatives because I'm new to this world and to learn from every single one person that I meet.
So thank you so much for your time and your for the value you've shared for us. I think I really learned a lot from you. Hopefully you learned something new too, or one or two.
Yes,
So
yes, of course.
I hope so. Our listeners also learned something on these episodes. So you can follow Shayne, and I also putting the link of her page to see more of her work. So hopefully we can you can learn from her journey, uh, and that's really interesting to apply or execute for your own growth. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Shayne, for your for accepting, and I glad to have you on the show.
Yes, this was
Hmm.
fun, right? This was fun.
I
So
hope you.
I hope I was able to,
Yes.
inspire someone when they listen to this, or maybe they learned one thing or two. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Jay Christ.